USC notches conference win number 2 as they escape Tempe with a 42-28 win over Arizona State. While I'm not concerned with the final score or the penalties, some old habits came back in a big way, and the personnel decisions left many Trojan fans, including myself, baffled. Game review number 4, next. What's up, guys? My name is Gabe, and welcome into the Trojan Blade. We have a lot to talk about today, so no long intro, let's just dive straight in here. Okay, so let's start with just my thoughts on this game. Like I said in the intro, I am not upset that this was a close game. I am not upset with the penalties. I am not upset with the offensive communication issues. It's the first road game of the year. Arizona State changed play callers for this game. The crowd was juiced. We saw this last year against Oregon State. Those ASU kids, who by the way I completely overlooked and borderline disrespected in my game preview, shout out to them, they came out and played their hearts out. But games like this happen, right? We see Blue Bloods have games like this all the time. I'm not worried about any of that stuff I mentioned. I know the communication's gonna get fixed. I know we're not gonna have penalties on the road in the future, or as many penalties I should say. But there are some issues I am worried about, and let's get the negative out of the way early. Let's just talk about the SC defense. All right, so the defense took a big step back this week in my opinion. We saw Alex Grinch fall back into the same old bad habits. And guys, I'll be honest, this pisses me off. Rajon Davis. In my opinion, he's been our best linebacker this year, full stop. Is he a perfect player? No, but he's been covering well. He's active and he's productive. When you watch him and he's on the field, he's around the ball constantly. So what happens in this game? He doesn't get one snap, not one. Why? Can anyone give me a reason why? Because I sure as hell can't think of one. We saw this last year. You don't play him all year. He comes in the Tulane game and immediately makes a big time impact. He gets his shot this year, looks better than anyone we've seen up to this point. And where is he? He's over on the bench running special teams. One thing we heard from the OU fans about Alex Grinch is that he will play favorites and not play the best players. So far, there appears to be some real validity to that. Mason Cobb and Tackett Curtis have showed zero reason why they should be in over Rajon. In fact, do you want to know who the 2 lowest rated defenders are on this USC defense? It's Cobb and Curtis. And absolutely nothing personal to those 2 guys. I want them to both be great, obviously. I thought Mason Cobb would be great. If you guys watched me in the offseason, you'll know what I thought about him. But guys, at this point, it doesn't make any sense. We'll see if that trend continues this week against Colorado, but man, that was disheartening. The linebacker play in this game was putrid. And guys, I know Tackett Curtis had the 2 sacks at the end of the game. I am aware of that, and while those were good plays, it doesn't outweigh the 3.5 quarters we saw of him prior to that. In my opinion, he is not ready at this moment in time. That doesn't mean he's not going to be. That doesn't mean his ceiling is through the roof, because it is. But right now, he is not ready to start for this football team. Plain and simple, he's out of position, he doesn't make plays. Go look through the years at the linebacker production and Alex Grinch defenses. These guys put up big numbers because they're around the ball constantly. He's not doing that. He doesn't know how to read the game. If you look at how he played in high school, it makes sense. He needs more time to develop and learn this game. Playing linebacker in this defense is hard. He's going to be a great player, but as of now, he's not. And Mason Cobb. I mean, I don't even know how to explain that one. At Oklahoma State, he's one of the more productive linebackers in the entire country. Is he the best tackler in the world? No. But man, he can't do anything in this defense right now. He looks slow. He looks small. He can't tackle. I mean, I don't get it. He looks dreadful up to this point. And to make things worse, say what you will about him, but whenever Eric Gentry comes in, he makes plays. I would love to hear the argument from the coaching staff of why those 2 are starting at linebacker when you have Gentry and Davis on the bench. That's the duo I would love to see. I'm not saying that Mason Cobb won't get better or more comfortable in this defense as the year goes on, but guys, right now, he's playing at such a low level, I don't think he's playable right now. I'm honestly stunned at the lack of production from him. But yeah, the linebacker position is in a real tough spot right now. But guys, let's talk about Keon Bars. This is a guy I think we can all agree is the 2nd most talented interior defensive lineman on the team. Now, he hasn't played great this year, I get that, but either has Stanley T. Keon has seen his snaps drop game after game, only getting 9 this week. He's posting some stuff on Twitter that would suggest he's frustrated, which I totally get. This one isn't as egregious because Keon has been a bit up and down, but the process here is completely flawed in my opinion. Guys, to put this in perspective, Stanley played more snaps than Keon and Anthony Lucas combined. I mean, that's unacceptable. Again, nothing personal to Stanley T, but we've seen him now for multiple years. He does not have it. And make sure you guys follow USC Analytics on Twitter, by the way. He does a great job posting snap counts and other analytical things. And man, The tackling fell off a cliff in this one, missing a total of 14 tackles in this game alone. Unacceptable, but I'm not going to panic about it until it becomes a trend. Although with it being a big trend last year, it is very scary. Now, as bad as a lot of the defensive stuff was, there were some positives. Romello Height had his best game as a Trojan. This pass rush as a whole had a pretty good game, especially in that fourth quarter. The second Arizona State had to start throwing the ball, the game was over. Shout out to Rusty, aka Arrogant Nation on Twitter, for pointing out the fact that SC is currently leading the Power 5 in sacks, TFLs, and forced fumbles. So I think we have a very good recipe here. This SC offense is going to score. We know that. In the fourth quarter of games when opposing offenses have to throw the ball, this pass rush is going to pin their ears back and they're going to take games over like we saw on Saturday night. Solomon Byrd, Bear Alexander, all the usual guys up front made a big impact in this one. I did think the pass rush kind of vanished from time to time in this game, which again, against a battered offensive line, that's not what you're looking for, but I was pretty happy with their performance overall. The linebackers and secondary outside of Kalen, Jalen, and CRW I thought were dreadful. Max Williams looked exactly like how he did at the end of 2022. When I said Max was unplayable in the offseason, this is the Max I was talking about. He was great the first few weeks, but Saturday was just a terrible performance. Sierra Wright was up and down in this one. Bryson Shaw was poor as well. He and Max each missed 3 tackles. That is unacceptable, can't happen. But this is another problem I have with Alex Grinch. When guys are out there having stinkers, why is he unable to pull them and give other guys a chance? No snaps for Zion Branch in this one? Really? Shane Lee has his issues as a player, but bringing down big running backs is not one of them. He tackled very well against Estime and Charbonnet last year. Why not give him some run in this one? I don't know, man. Overall, a really disheartening performance. This team is giving up too many yards, and at this point, I'm not at all confident we'll be able to stop teams like Washington down the stretch. So next week, I want to see 9 out there, I want to see 18 out there, and I want to see the tackling improve across the board. As for Alex Grinch, I'm not on board anymore. He can show me something to change my mind, but as of now, I've seen enough. All right, now flipping over and talking about this USC offense, Caleb Williams did not play well and still put up over 300 yards and 5 total touchdowns. Soak that information in and process it for a second. We're witnessing greatness every time 13 steps out there. Let's make sure to appreciate it while we have it. But Caleb was off in this one, no doubt. The communication was off between him and Lincoln. He wasn't seeing the field as well as he usually does. He could have thrown 2 or 3 picks if the ASU defense could catch. It reminded me so much of the Oregon State game last year. The big difference in this one, though, was the running game for SC. It was as dominant and explosive as I've ever seen it. So naturally, we only handed the ball off 17 times. And Marshawn Lloyd, who looks as incredible as I thought he would, only got 14 carries. That's a real shame because he could have easily had over 200 yards at the rate he was going. He has clearly separated as the Trojans' #1 option at that spot. Guys, he was averaging 11 yards per carry. Lincoln doesn't have many faults in terms of play calling, clearly, but man, I wish sometimes we wouldn't be so pass happy and would just run it. Lincoln even admitted post-game we should have ran the ball more, so I'm not saying anything he doesn't already know, but man, what a performance from Marshawn. I also want to touch on the wideout rotation. So clearly the top 4 has been set with Rice, Singer, Taj, and Branch. I like that top 4, it gives you a little bit of everything. Explosiveness, reliability, hands, route running, blocking. You have guys that can do it all there. By week 8 or 9, I do expect Deuce Robinson to be making a bigger impact on the offense, but as of now, those are the main 4. Mario Williams played an extended role in this one and really struggled. I don't remember the exact number, but I believe he had 2 or 3 drops. They were really easy ones too. You can't have that. This wide receiver core is too talented. You can't play guys who aren't going to catch the ball reliably, which I touched on this with the defense, but when you have a guy on offense that's not catching the ball, why do you keep feeding him? I don't understand it really. There's so many big time weapons in this offense. If Mario's struggling, let's get Mike Jack more balls. Let's get Taj the ball more. Dorian Singer only caught 1 ball in this one. Like, we don't need to keep guys in the game if they can't catch the ball. Not in this offense, not with these weapons on the bench. That's how I view it anyway. And guys, how about Brendan Rice? Man, when Brendan goes off, he goes off and he looks very good doing it. He is such a big time player that's going to be so critical for us down the stretch. He's a matchup nightmare. Looking ahead this week to the Colorado game, I don't know how they plan on stopping him. But yeah, huge game from Brendan. All that guy does is score touchdowns. Jonah Monheim wasn't flawless in this one, but you can clearly see he's our best offensive lineman by a mile. I mean, he's just fantastic. So overall from the offense, it was a little sloppy. The penalties weren't great, obviously, but man, they found a way to put up 42, so can't be too hard on them. Yeah, but overall from this game, I can't help but coming out of it with a negative mindset. It's just I really thought we were past these little things that Grinch does, but clearly we're not. I mean, this just reminded me so much of last year in the worst way possible. Missed tackle after missed tackle. The better players are on the bench. There's no accountability. Guys that are playing terribly just keep staying on the field. When you're allowed to play god-awful and there's no worry about being pulled, I mean, what kind of culture is that? I don't know, but it's very worrisome. I want to see a big bounce back against Colorado, and I want to see 9 and 18 out there the majority of the game. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what should happen based on what we've seen so far. So obviously, hope things get better, hope this defense can turn it around, hope the tackling struggles go away. Am I confident that's going to happen? Not necessarily, but I obviously hope we can turn things around and have a big performance this week against Colorado. All right, guys, so I do want to hear from you. What do you think about Alex Grinch? What do you think about Rajon Davis and all the stuff I talked about in this video? Make sure to leave a comment down below. If you guys did enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out so much. And if you do want to help support the channel in an even bigger way, you can do so over on my Patreon for only $1 a month. And guys, if you do plan on going to any games this year, make sure you head over to SeatGeek and use my promo code TrojanBlade at checkout for an extra $20 off your first order. Thank you all so much for your continued support. You're all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on.